everyone, welcome back into the Shoujo-Verse. Today we're going to be talking a bit more about Horimiya, episodes 6 to 7, and give our thoughts about it. And with me, I'm Sho-chan, by the way. With me, I have Nikki from Into the Shoujo-Verse as well.
Hello, it's Nikki.
We'll go ahead and get started with episode 6 then. So, in this episode, I think what was funny in the very beginning was a bit of the banter between Hori's dad and the rest of the family.
Yeah, he's funny. He's so funny. I'm just so confused about.
It's also hot.
Okay, I see. That's your type. But yeah, I was just so confused about his role in this family. I mean, I think it's funny, but who is he anyway?
Yeah, I made note of that. I was like, why did they not explain, like, why is his job not letting him become, I was just, like, super confused, and I honestly don't remember the manga. I think they may have explained it there, but, like, as an anime, like, I feel like I'm watching this, people are watching this, some of them shouldn't have to rely upon the manga to know what's happening. So I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like, why does she call him by his first name, and what does he do that makes it, like, what's his job that he's gone all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, wow, he's like a really funny, cool character, but he's also just kind of there.
Yeah, he's part of the comic relief in Hori's family, to be honest. I like how Miyamura is a bigger part of the family than the dad is. Like, he talks about the chopsticks or, like, the futon, and, like, all of that was for Miyamura, but not the dad.
Yeah, Miyamura has his own chopsticks and his bowl. That's cute.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so then it progressed next into, like, Miyamura sleeping over at Hori's place with the dad, though, because the dad wanted to be with Miyamura, I guess.
Yeah, and he they took a bath together too. I think he was like, "Let's take a bath together."
They did. I was like, what?
Yeah, so that was.
I was just kind of like, that's a bit weird, I guess. Though.
I mean, I think he's also just being a dad. He's a very just dad-like character. I don't know how to explain that. Other than just being a dad.
Dad energy right there.
Yeah. And then I was low-key wishing that, that pillow talk that they were having, that it would have been a little bit, like, he literally was just like, why do you like Hori? And then he answers, and then he's sleeping. I'm like, there could have been so much more that could have happened. I don't know. Like, this is when you explain why you're gone all the time.
Yeah. Uh-huh. We don't know anything about this father. He's just there.
Yeah, he's just there. And that one scene where they're just like laying there going to sleep and they're talking, I felt like that could have been like so much more could have happened. Yeah, it would have been a good moment to really flush out the relationship between Hori and her dad, and the relationship between even Miyamura and like the dad and his role in the family. But he just went to sleep.
Yep. We love that. This anime, I feel like, goes from either you get like really unnecessarily dramatic points, and then you get like some really like just glossed over points, and I feel like this was one of those moments.
Yeah, that's true. They do choose to choose to expand on certain moments and just gloss over other ones that sometimes they don't really make sense. Like, I think like that moment that happens in episode 7 that we can talk about more later, but then like how they really, really did a huge focus on him going to Hokkaido, which I felt like they could have expanded more, like, instead on, like, the relationship with Hori's dad and some of the other relationships that are happening or other moments. Yeah, so I don't know. It's very interesting where they choose to focus.
I definitely agree with that. And then, I mean, it was this episode what was it? Yeah, Miyamura cut his hair, right? In this episode?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I remember like everybody in our group was like hyped for that moment in particular, and I was like, oh, I liked his long hair.
Are you your team
I'm
long
the minority
hair?
here.
Yeah, I'm not a huge long hair fan on guys, so I was also happy.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like on anime characters it looks cool, and then real life it's a bit of a different story.
That's true. Well, I don't know. I think some guys can kind of pull it off. In
Some guys
general,
can. That's
yeah.
true.
In general, I'm not a super big fan of it. So,
Yeah, yeah. No, I get that. But anyways, enough about our taste in hair for guys. Talking the next part was like the candy scene, right? So that was an interesting out of the blue kind of scene, but also not. It was cute.
it was I don't know about you, but my heart was beating when that happened. I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, yeah. And then she was like remembering it too, and I was like, like,
Yeah.
oh,
I was
like
like,
that just happened. What?
yeah, I was like,
He
"Girl."
played it off like it was nothing too.
Yeah, I was a little like, Miyamura.
Yeah, I know, right? Like Miyamura has been such a cinnamon roll for like all these episodes, and then he did that. I was like, wait, what?
He's so sly. Oh my gosh. He's a little more
That was
sly. He's a little more sly than I thought he was.
Miyamura's playing back to his bad boy looks.
Yeah, Miyamura, he is. He seems very. Yeah, he seems very shy and very cinnamon rolly, but low key, he's kind of.
Low key.
Yeah, he could kind of be aggressive in these aspects.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I actually like that scene. I actually did like that scene though because I was just super. I mean, it was super unexpected. Like, I don't think that candy scene. I don't think anyone really expected that unless you were following the manga really closely. And so it was. It was just such a like a squealy like fangirly moment for me.
Yeah,
I thought it was
no.
super cute. I actually liked it.
Yeah. I liked it too. I thought it was unexpected and kind of funny that it was unexpected. It was cute.
Yeah, Miyamura is really sly. That's what we learned
Yeah.
from this episode. Well, we kind of knew, but then it was just super
Yep.
solidified in this episode. That he's so sly.
And then, what was it? Yeah, and then there was that next part with Sawada, like that unexpected love rival, who's like the second year student who's stalking Hori and Miyamura.
Yeah, that was. I really like the banter between Miyamura and
Uh-huh.
Sawada. Like when they were all fighting over
Yeah.
Hori. I thought that was so funny.
I thought it was super cute too. That part where like there was like that first confrontation where she's like, "When are you gonna?" She was like, "When are you gonna break up with him? Like I'm the one. I should be the one. I like you, Hori." And then everybody was like shocked, and even Toru was like, "What a twist!" I was like, "That's how the fans feel right now." I'm watching this.
Yeah.
So good.
I think when Toru was like texting Yoshikawa, he was like, "Hey, get over here now." It's so funny.
I was like, "This is such a good like." I love that sort of energy from that episode.
Yeah, I like how he talks about he basically is acknowledging how ridiculous that scene
Yep.
is. Like if that were to actually happen, he's like, "This is so funny."
Hmm.
I was gonna say like he's right. It's like hella ridiculous that they're fighting over someone like in the middle of the school like that.
I know, right? And even like the part, and then Miyamura, that famous scene in the manga where he like pulls her and he's like, "No, she's mine," and I'm just like, "What is she, a toy to you?"
Yeah. I thought it was I don't yeah. Seeing Miyamura get possessive like that was I thought it wasn't that bad. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it was cute. I know how people can like see it as like, oh, it's being like being unhealthily possessive. But I think after how he develops his relationship with Sawada, it's obviously it wasn't like a horrible like super possessive jealous thing.
Oh yeah, no, it's just like wholesome. It's like chill and wholesome
Yeah, it was
here.
pretty wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did remember thinking that she looked a lot like him, Sawada.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
like,
I was like, they look like they could be
siblings.
siblings, and then they had that whole like weird sibling thing going on where she was
Yeah.
like, I had an older brother, and he was a year older than me,
Hmm.
and like Miyamura is a year older than her, and is like acting
Yeah.
like a brother almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I was like, that was interesting, I guess.
I like that part. I thought it was. I know it felt out of the blue. There are some parts of this anime where I'm like, this just feels out of the blue, but I'm like still here for it. So like that part, I was like,
Mm.
oh, that's actually kind of touching. I like that they added that.
I like that I like that they went that route instead of like, being Miyamura's love rival to being
Uh
Hori's love
huh.
rival. Because I was like scared that they were gonna do a thing where like they're getting closer and like Hori gets like all jealous and stuff.
I know the stereotypical
So
misunderstanding.
yeah, so I was happy that they went kind of like the more sibling relationship route though, but I just thought it was kind of random.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because she doesn't appear again in the next episode. Like,
Yeah. Confession, I had to rewatch that episode because I didn't remember her.
yeah, I was like, cool. Now what? Like,
Yeah, she not.
why did she suddenly stop? Why did she suddenly stop stalking them? Like,
Uh huh.
that that wasn't really resolved. Like, she just kind of disappeared. Like when she was such a big part, obviously, when she was just like suddenly starting to stalk
Hmm.
them and like fight with Miyamura all the time, and then all of a sudden now she's
Yeah.
not.
I feel like it's interesting how this anime structure is because it's like I feel like the first 12 minutes are about one thing and then the next 12 minutes forget everything that just happened in the past 12 minutes. We're now on a new thing. And then like next episode forget everything that was in the
Hmm.
previous episode. We're going to start over again.
Yeah, but the way they do it is very like they don't really
Yeah.
resolve the last segment. Like there's some animes like Psyche K.
Yeah,
Have
I
you
watched
watched
Psyche
Psyche
K. It's
K?
so great.
Yes. Yeah, Psyche K kind of does that where, it's very episodic in the sense that it's like multiple random
Yeah,
scenes
yeah.
kind of
They're short
mushed
episodes.
together. Like it's very common in slice of life type
Yeah,
things. But they do it where they will at least resolve like, those
yeah.
moments
It feels like a full
where you
story
don't
is
feel
done.
like, yeah, I feel like it's done. But this one, they kind of do this thing where they don't exactly
Ended.
resolve these
Yeah.
segments. Yeah, or end them. And they just kind of, I don't know if they're trying to do it so that they come back to it later or
Yeah.
something. But it just kind of feels really weird right now when you're like watching it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're just like, oh, I don't know if they're ever going to revisit it again.
Yeah.
Or I don't really know what just happened here, and my mind just keeps jumping around like, oh, I have to follow this plot line and remember who this person is,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not it's not like coming together super
Yeah.
well. It's just jumping around a
Yep.
lot.
Us as it feels like we're such like critics, like it's not very cohesive, you see. It doesn't follow a structure that helps bring it all together. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I agree with that totally. Like I lose track of the details because of this.
Yeah. I was just gonna add that, like, I think sometimes it's kind of nice because it seems a little more realistic, where, like, oh, if you were to think about, your time in high school or, like, your
Uh-huh.
past moments or whatever, it's, like, episodic like that, you don't remember exactly when things happen, and you just remember bits and pieces, and, like, I think through their skipping, there's, like, time skips, too,
Mm-hmm.
where it's kind of fine because you can just assume that the relationship is developing through just hanging out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I there's like some parts that I kind of like about it, but at the same time, it's just very not. It's like a little more realistic in a sense, but it's also just not cohesive.
Yeah, yeah, no, I get that. It is more realistic. That's what I do have to say, give it props on. It's like, okay, this kind of makes sense, like, in a typical high school sort of setting. But, like, yeah, things won't be resolved right away. But I guess as a show, it kind of is like you're watching this, like, you're trying to put pieces together, and sometimes it's like,
Yeah,
doesn't exactly add up. So,
like I said, there's it could be done better
yeah.
still. Even if they were trying to go for that vibe, like they could still have done it better.
Mm-hmm. Definitely agree. And we'll see what happens in the next few episodes. Like, I'm kind of curious how this anime is just gonna like, what the concluding episodes will look like, since it's
I have a feeling that they're not going to conclude it very
yeah,
well,
I
considering
yeah
everything that their pattern of what they've been doing.
yeah. Maybe they will bring in all the plot points back in and like try to resolve all of them in one episode. I have no idea. Yeah, because like again, I feel like is it intentional that they're leaving it off, or are they just messily leaving things off as they are? Don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
We can skip into episode 7 now. I think this was a very dramatic episode overall. Like minus the horror movie part, but like getting into it from the very beginning, we have Yuki and Sakura and Toru, like that love triangle. Oh my gosh. I feel bad for Yuki and Sakura. I know this is like some people can say this is unnecessary since this anime is literally called Horimiya, so we don't even care about them. But I feel like there's like I actually like the side characters a lot in this too, and I feel like both Yuki and Sakura, like Toru's such a friendly guy, and I have beef with friendly guys for that reason. It's like he's super dense. Like, come on. Like these, literally, Sakura gave you cookies. Yuki is like trying to bake something for you. You're dumb. Oh my god, come on.
I don't know. It's weird that he would turn to a guy like that when he was so switching from being like super caught up in with Hori, and like he was super observant with Hori and Miyamura because he knew what was going on there.
When it comes to
But
himself,
I don't
though.
know. Like maybe it's just because, yeah, I don't know. Maybe because it was just because he was into Hori, so he paid a lot more
Yeah.
attention to her. But it's just kind of so he switches from like he switches. It's weird that he switches from being that observant person in kind of like a major point in Hori and Miyamura's relationship to just being like a dense
That's such a
Dumbo
true,
cat.
like, that's a really good observation. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, like, what happened there? Given he was, I don't know, I felt like he was such a good, like, the bromance between him and Miyamura, 10 out of 10. But, like, and, like, his friendship and everything, like, he was there for Horimiya's, like, that ship to sail. And even though he had feelings, and he even, like, had that one scene where he kind of cried a little bit, it was like, oh, this is kind of, he's a strong, deeper character. And then you see this happen, you're like, what happened?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was kind of weird for me to. I don't think like I think it's still fine. Like I don't think it's
Yeah.
inconsistent. But I just think it's just a little weird to try to switch gears from that person to the Ishikawa now.
Definitely. I agree with that. I thought, what was it? I also made this note. I didn't write this down for us to talk about, but I think this is also another thing that happened that was like an interesting observation I had from other episodes too. I noticed that Remy, like this is a side note, this has nothing to do with her earlier point, but like Remy, her character is like often told by what others perceive her to be. But like, no offense, like in the earlier episodes, she didn't seem that like if I have to be very honest, like brutally honest, she seemed kind of like a brat. And I was like, wait, how is she this like loving friend? How is she this like very like this Sengoku talks about how she's like so strong and everything, and I'm just like, where this doesn't add up as a viewer. I feel like you're telling me these things, but she herself doesn't portray any of this from her appearances because she's only used as comic relief, I think.
I don't really know why they're choosing to flesh her out so much as a character when I don't know, I think this is one of the examples where they're just like where they focus on something really weird instead of focusing on something
Yeah.
else that they could flesh out more. Yeah, I don't really get Remy's role that much in this. It's like that me and Sumo talked about it in the last episode, but there is like that scene with her and Sakura where she was like, "Oh, you're cute, Sakura," and then like Sakura's like, "I wish I was cute like you."
Yep.
Like that one scene. Yeah, I don't know. Like I mean, I think she's obviously. I think. I think they're trying to make it so that she's a little more
True,
three-dimensional,
true.
where she's not just like that one pretty cute girl that's like super ditzy but has her good points too. I think that's what they're trying to do. I just don't know why they're trying to do it, because I don't think she plays that huge of a
Yeah.
role, at least right now, in any of the plot lines, to be
Gosh darn
honest.
it. Just like pick and choose the characters you want to develop on. Like the ones that matter, please.
Yeah. So I'm just like, why are we? Yeah, that was actually, I guess, kind of weird. But I think the main point of that conversation, I don't really. I think it was to
Yeah,
push
it was.
Sakura to make a move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I didn't pay that much attention to it, but it does make sense what you said. Like, it was weird that they
Yeah.
talk about her a lot in that, like, yeah, what he said was a little weird too, just because he was like, oh, she's not that strong and I want
Protect
to.
her.
She makes me feel
The
strong. Yeah.
typical male, what is that, chivalry? Yeah, the typical chivalry sort of argument.
Yeah, I guess
Uh,
so. Yeah, I was like, oh,
okay,
okay,
dude.
okay. I was like, if you want to protect someone, I don't know, get a hamster.
Yeah. Nikki, you have hamsters.
They're not very strong. Yeah, I was like, you can feel like you have a role if you get like a hamster, or like a, I don't know, like a
Or like
dog.
a dog. Like get a pet basically, Sengoku. Why Remy?
Yeah, I guess I was a little unsatisfied. Like, I kind of get where it was trying to go, but I was a little unsatisfied with what he was saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just not convincing enough, honestly. Like, Remy is literally there for maybe a few minutes, and then we see this happen, and I'm just like, yo, like, I don't, why? Like, comes out of nowhere to me.
Yeah. And then she had that whole thing with Hori where she was like, "Can I steal mirror from you?" And then, like, what the I was like, "Wait, what kind of character? Like, is she's like trying to be they're trying to use her to fit multiple roles that don't really necessarily make sense. Like, she's trying to be that mean girl, she's trying to be that like ditzy girl, and then she's trying to be like the good friend. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know, it's like, what's her character?
Like, they don't really flow. Yeah, I don't know. They're not really flowing well together. Or like, her role in this anime is just really confusing, or just all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, enough about Remy. Let's get into Yuki and Sakura. We don't need to go fully into it. I'm wondering, what's your stance on their characters, or like them with Ishikawa, if you have any
Hmm.
thoughts around that.
I was kind of really going. I really like that. I thought that I would like that Yuki and Ishikawa were gonna be like friends, because I really like their friendship. So I was actually a little sad to find out she also liked him, because I'm not a huge love triangle
Uh,
person. Like, I'm just like, can't they just have
I
one,
know.
like one relationship that you develop? I don't like love triangles that much. So I was actually really happy that they had like this cute friendship going on, and I wanted it to be more like a thing where, like, oh, like, they can be friends and they don't have to date even if they're friends with like a couple,
Mm-hmm.
because then it's like one of those things where like you expect it to happen, but I was happy that it wasn't
Mm.
happening. Because I thought the anime creators, or like the manga, or I thought the plot line was gonna go full on Sakura Toru, so I was a little sad about how Yuki became part of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, but also, like, Yuki, uh like, did she always like Ishikawa, even when she knew when Ishikawa liked
You know, I
Hori?
feel like that was kind of unclear in the anime. I don't know. I don't want to say anything about the manga. Like, I want to, but at least from the anime standpoint, definitely, like, I don't know. That's a good question. We don't know. I wish they would just be decisive with it, because I think in the manga too, if I recall correctly on this one fact, which is like they weren't very decisive on like who he ended up with, one, and then also like again, like you're right. Why can't just Yuki and Ishikawa be friends?
Yeah, I was happy that I thought it was gonna go that way, so I was happy about that, but it didn't, and so I'm a
Yeah.
little um sad about this decision. But yeah, it was also like considering how she acted in this episode with the cookies and everything. Like when she first was like being kind of emotional about it, I would be surprised that she and Hori maintained such a good friendship when she knew Ishikawa liked her.
True. Like, that's, yeah, so it makes you wonder if the feelings developed afterwards versus, like, why is she hating on, what's it called? Why is she hating upon, what's her face, Sakura?
Sakura instead of, and then she didn't really do that with Hori. But yeah, maybe those feelings developed
Yeah.
later. I don't know. But it just kind of wasn't super clear with that too. Like I feel like if she was gonna like him, they should have developed this since the beginning. Unless it was super sudden, but I don't know. Unless it really didn't happen until later. But I feel like if she liked him, they could have eased into it more instead of just being like, by the way, she
Yeah.
likes him too.
Anyways, we love talking about that. I think we should talk about the next part of the episode, which is probably, I would say, more relevant to the title of the show, Horimiya. Miyamura going to Hokkaido for 5 days. I didn't really like it either. I like the Yuki section better than this.
I think there's a lot to unpack in the Yuki section.
Yeah.
Yuki section. But this one, yeah, it was kind of.
Poor man can't find a phone charger.
Yeah, I was like, dude, it's been 5 days. You still can't find one.
Yeah.
What kind of phone do you have? Like, and then between your parents, and you, no one brought a phone charger. Like,
Yeah, come on, man. You guys should have been prepared. You always bring a phone charger. I always remember to.
yeah, and I was like, do you not memorize Hori's number?
Ooh, yes. Wait, I'm now curious. If you've ever been in a relationship before, have you memorized your partner's number?
I did.
That's so sweet. Oh my gosh. You know what? That's the bar. That's the bar. You gotta memorize it.
I mean, it's not that hard to remember. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I don't think so either, but apparently for Miyamura it is.
Well, I mean, I get that they just started dating, so I'm like, okay, even if you don't remember her number, though, like, 5 days is a long time to not find a charger.
Yeah. 5 days. Come on, man.
He even asked to go to the store, and then, like, what, your mom didn't have time for 3 days to take you to the store? I don't know.
True. And then Hori missing him a lot. Or Hori not getting a response.
Yeah, there's a lot, like, when she brought the 2 drinks
Yeah.
back to lunch, I was like, girl, it's day 3, or day 2, or I don't know, man, like...
You know he's not here. What?
Yeah, I was like, you know by now he's not here. Because then she was like counting or whatever, and I was like, isn't it like day 3 already that he's not here? Like, come on,
Thought of him so much.
get it together.
She was lost in thought about Himura so much that she even like instinctively grabbed another juice box or milk thing, like another drink for him.
Yeah, like I don't know. I was just like, it's day 3, man. You know he's not there. Like you didn't do this the first or second. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing this is this is probably both of their first and only relationship as it goes in these sort of in shoujo /
That's
shonen.
true.
But so I guess like they're learning. That's what I have to say to that because I'm just like, this is so
Yeah.
dramatic for no reason.
It was really dramatic, but also they're in high school, and you're just dramatic in high school.
Yep.
In general, so I also get that. I was also curious is that Miyamura looked like he was going to a funeral.
Yeah, I was
Did it
like,
seem
what is
that
this
way to
family
you?
event?
Yeah, it seemed like a funeral, and so I was like, why is it a funeral? Like,
Uh-huh. We didn't get context. It was just that I guess the purpose of this whole like dragged out thing, I don't even know what to call it, just dragged out segment. Like I feel like that was just like for the purpose of the separation between Hori and Miyamura and showing that they miss each other. But it's like, wait, but can you tell me what's going on with why he's in Hokkaido in the first place? Why is his whole family there? Or like, yeah.
yeah.
What was up with that?
Or she said he was visiting family,
Mhm.
and I was like, but then it was like,
It looked a
It
little
was,
bit
yeah,
sus
it
with
was
the
like a
tuxes and the dresses.
funeral. I think it
Yeah.
was a, because then his mom was wearing black too, right?
Yeah, they were all wearing black.
Yeah, so I was like, is this a funeral? And then it makes more sense though, because why would you take like 5 days off of school just to go visit family?
That's another thing I was just thinking about too, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it'd be safe to assume that. It's just that was kind of like a thing that you had to figure out.
Yeah.
Um, so they don't really explicitly say it, and I don't really know what they're trying to do with it.
Hmm.
If it ever gets, once again, if they ever come back to that.
Explain Miyamura's
Yeah.
sadness later on. His
Mm-hmm.
grief later on. Yeah.
Yeah.
No idea what this one. That was it's like us talking about this part, it's like a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I didn't really. There's a lot of things that were just really weird about that whole thing, but I'll attribute it to them being dramatic teenagers.
Yeah, definitely dramatic teenagers. The next part though I thought was a little bit more wholesome, like with the horror movies and like how Hori asked the other girls like how do like she's like talking about showing horror movies and then they suggest ways for her to be like cute to Miyamura.
Mm-hmm.
That was really funny. I like how she literally tried all that and then Miyamura just got scared instead.
Yeah, I was so sad that she like, or Miyamura is like, I have a DVD about puppies, and she's like, I want to watch this horror movie.
I know. I was like, wait, girl, why don't you let him watch something?
I know. I was like, let him watch his damn puppy movie.
Why
That
can't we get
hella
a
triggered
wholesome thing?
me.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
that
mean,
triggered me a lot because my ex used to like make me watch horror movies, and I hate horror movies.
oh no.
And he wouldn't let me, like, I would always want to watch like rom-coms together, and
Oh
then he
yeah.
wouldn't want to watch them. He would make me watch some like random ass horror movie, and I'm like, ah. And so I was like, oh my god, I felt that.
I felt
I was so
I feel the
triggered.
Miyamura here.
Yeah, I was so triggered. I was like, I hate horror movies too, and I just wanted to watch a cute movie too.
Oh
And
my
he
god.
said no.
Dude, literally Hori's playing she's the authoritative figure here for some reason in the relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I think she kind of has that. She's
She has
been
that
showing that
presence.
personality. Yeah, she has that presence. They've been kind of developing that.
But like to deny Miyamura of his puppies movie, like come on. Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Poor man just wanted to watch his puppy movie.
I am liking Miyamura a lot more though. Like, I think that whole scene where she was like in the bed and they were like talking to each other,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, I liked you for you."
Yeah, that
And
was so cute actually. I was like, oh, I'm blushing here, my heart.
yeah, it was cute. It was very cliche, but I feel like the way he said it, or like the way that he worded it, was didn't make it sound as cliche for some reason.
Yeah, he was like, I didn't fall for a normal girl, I fell for you. And I was just like, yes, you did. Miyamura, you
Yeah.
go.
It didn't sound as cliche when he said it, but I was
Yeah.
really like, "Oh, that's sweet. Can I get a guy like you too?"
Miyamura is the real deal. I also really like how Hori said something similar, like, for him too, and I was just like, aw, that's cute.
Yeah. Really called him out for being lanky though. She's like, I like how skinny he feels in my arms. I was like, what?
Like, okay, girl.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Really? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, and then they got all spicy.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Miyamura and Hori. I'm just like, I know it's only 13 episodes, I feel like that's why they're having to develop things super fast, including this part, but I was just like, man, we're still in the 7th episode, and like they had one kiss, and that was like, barely, like Hori could barely, like, handle that.
Yeah. Well, we don't know how much time has actually passed in
True,
a
true.
sense because they're kind of skipping around a little bit. And I don't remember if the manga was like that either. I don't remember feeling like it was like this. But I guess, like, yeah, like I said, we don't really know if a good amount of time's passed. Like, we don't actually know how long. I mean, we know at least 5 days passed in that one episode already.
True, yeah. What is time in this
We don't know
anime?
how long. Yeah, we don't know how long they've been dating for. And then just in the first like few episodes, they're in year 2, I think, and now they're in year 3.
Wait, really? Oh wait, yeah, you're right. They were
Yeah,
like
they
talking
changed
about that.
classes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, we don't know how much time is actually passing between these segments or these episodes. Especially when these episodes like tend to start off really not flowing from the last
Oh yeah,
episode.
no, it's just like completely new plot point.
Yeah, it's completely new. It's like kind of random. I actually don't like that either that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it happens, so it's I guess it's okay.
Yeah, I like how you brought it up
Uh,
with the time thing. I didn't even consider that, but that's so true. Like the time in this anime is something that I don't quite understand as a concept, and I feel like if I had to, I don't like doing this whole drawing comparisons between the manga and anime, but we've been doing it for like the past few episodes. So I feel like the manga definitely, from what I remember it, I did not remember it being this weird, inconsistent, like I didn't remember it like this. There were later
yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, there were later parts, like when it started becoming like after Miyamura and Hori established their relationship, and after some side ships were starting to go or not. That's where things started getting a little bit weird, like in terms of cohesion. But like the beginning and all of this stuff that's being covered right now in the anime was I personally remember it being executed better than the manga. But that might be just
Yeah,
because of like mediums. I don't know.
I'm starting to get the sense that this anime was made for the manga readers, if that makes sense. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's made for people who already have context of
True,
things
true.
because and just to see it animated. I don't know if that was what they're going for, but that's kind of what the sense I'm getting now. Because they gloss over what seems to be important plot points very briefly, and they just like animate certain parts and they jump around. So it almost seems like they're just animating parts of the manga just so that manga readers can see it like with this pretty art and everything,
Uh-huh.
instead of for people who are just like looking into the anime just to watch it.
Yeah,
But that's
definitely.
the feel that I've been getting from these past episodes where like they jump around so much, like they're just trying to animate stuff, if that makes sense.
So true. Honestly, you brought up another really great point. Like I I agree that this feels really directed towards the manga readers to fill in the holes that we're left with. It kind of reminds me of some other anime. Some other anime have done that similarly. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
of I personally think of more non-shoujo though, which is interesting because I'm trying to think like are there do you have other examples that you can think of personally like off the top of your head that are shoujo that did it similarly where they like cut out some things
Um,
within.
I don't know. Maybe like not really. Maybe like the only thing that's coming up is maybe Gakuen babysitters, but I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
because
Gakuen.
they do. I feel like they don't focus too much on that plot in the animation, and I feel like they're just like animating things.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I feel like there wasn't huge plot points even in the manga,
Hmm.
or maybe even the first season of Fruits Basket,
Mm.
or not the first season, like the first version.
Yeah, the first version of Fruits Basket, yeah.
Yeah, not yeah that one because in that one also didn't do much about the plot. They just kind of animated stuff, but. Yeah, I don't know. I think it happens sometimes. I feel like it does happen with shoujo because shoujos don't tend to get multiple season animations.
Hmm.
You know what this feels like? This just feels like a super long OVA.
Of super long OVA. I like how you put it that way.
Yeah,
So
something
true.
like that.
Yeah. I can personally think of some shonen that gets cut like this because they can't do a full series. Some of them do have to end up like this as well, where it's like, okay, like I think of Kagero Project. I don't know if that counts as a shonen, but I don't think that it does actually even. But that was a Vocaloid project slash like light novel slash manga slash anime, and it's a really cool mixed media thing. But I think that there was like I watched the anime and I'm like, what the heck is this? This is so terrible. Like this is so bad. Like people were talking over the summer about God of High School and how terrible that adaptation was, and I'm like, have you guys seen this adaptation though? Like you would be so surprised at how terrible it is
Mm,
because you would need to watch the Vocaloid videos. You would need to read the manga. You would need to like read the light novel just to understand what the heck was happening in the anime. And then the anime took a different route in the ending, I think. And because like the series I don't think was even finished when it was released, so I'm just like this all does not add up.
Yeah, I mean, I think these type of animes are fine sometimes, you know, like sometimes they're just trying to animate stuff so people can be happy to see it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It's trying to promote the manga
Yeah.
too, you know?
Yeah. As a manga reader too, like I'm usually okay with this because I read a lot of shoujo mangas and most of the shoujo adaptations I've already read.
Yep. Definitely.
So I guess I don't mind these things that much, but most definitely to someone who's like watching it for the first time, it might be a little different.
Yeah. I feel like there's been I feel like must be like my brain must be turned off in many points because I feel that some anime, like some of the shoujo I've gotten into, it started from the anime and then I decided, oh, I'm gonna read the manga now, which is like, you know, it's not bad, but then there's some anime that does it so badly that I'm like, oh, the manga is probably not better, and then people are like hyping the manga over the anime, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's different actually.
Yeah, shoujo tends to get a lot of OVAs too.
Yeah.
Instead of full-on adaptations. Like I think Horimiya had an OVA.
Yep.
Yeah, they had an OVA before their adaptation, so.
Yep. Anyways, I think we've talked a lot about Horimiya and beyond, which is really fun. And I think, do you have any other final thoughts, or do you think we can conclude?
Nope, I think that's it from me.
Nice. All right. This was a really fun talk with you, Nikki. Thank you so much. And to the rest of our viewers, be sure to check us out at the Shoujoverse on Twitter, and then check us out on YouTube as well, because we have it there. Yeah, and check us out on our other platforms too, on like the other app, whatever podcast app you're using. Check us out on the other ones too, and you can find out more on our Twitter at the Shoujoverse.
Yeah, we have like almost every social media out there right now, so just find us.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter too if you want to know about my life.
And what's your handle, Nikki?
Mine is Shoujoverse Nikki.
Nice. And you can follow me also on Twitter. I am at Shoujo Addict with a X for the I for addict. So gotta be cool like that. But yes. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you next time into the Shoujoverse. Thank you again.
Bye.